Hey, good morning. Welcome to Dads with Coffee.
It's 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning, and we're going to sit here and talk about nothing for 25 minutes.
Where else? Oh, nothing. Nothing. Is that the level of what you think this is? We do nothing.
We start with nothing. We start with nothing. We don't even know what,
we used to start with something, and now we've just decided wherever it goes, that's where we should go.
I think I like that better. I like the spontaneity of it. Speaking of spontaneity, I don't know if you can see the pastor's naked knee there, but he's wearing shorts at work.
This is the second Dads with Coffee that I've done that. And it's because so often, if I have to go to Stillwater or if we're leaving town, it's like at noon on Thursday.
Right.
And I'm like, I have this meeting, I have this, and then one other meeting, and then I'm out because today I'm going to Stillwater. I'm going to take. I'm repping today.
Sam's going back to school.
Samuel's going back to school. He was chosen. He applied, and he was chosen to be on the BCM lead team.
Baptist Collegiate Ministries, if you don't know.
Yep. And so it was BSU when I grew up.
It was BSM in Texas.
Yeah. But anyway, he was chosen to be on the lead team, so we have to go up a week early. He's got training and all kinds of things going on.
Good times.
And then they're in charge of some welcome week activities. So we go up a little early.
It is what you do.
That's right. So I'll go up and back today.
That's never fun. I get to go up and back Saturday.
Yeah. You got to go to Tulsa and back.
Yeah. No, my nephew's been here since the wedding. Actually, since last Monday, longest month.
Isn't this the same nephew that stayed with you before?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've done this
every year. They alternate.
You've done this before.
Yes.
Yeah.
They alternate every year. Either they go to Missouri or they come to Texas.
Either yours go up there or theirs come down here. Yeah.
Yes.
So the cousins have a good relationship with each other?
Oh, yeah. And, because of PlayStation, because of cell phones, and because of all this.
They stay connected better.
They hang out all the time, just never physically.
Right. Well, you've told the story of your sons.
Oh yeah.
They're in all of the same house.
Yeah.
But the conversation's over a PlayStation.
Yeah,
game.
it happens
with a microphone.
And now they're all in the same geographic location.
Yeah.
None of them together, but all of them together.
Right. Right.
It works out. I guess it works out.
Absolutely.
So we had a 100-foot slip and slide.
I was gonna say how to slip and slide go.
I don't know.
Last night.
I got into something. I don't know if it's mosquitoes or what. Just attacked my left hand. You probably can't see it.
Was it ants?
I don't know what it is. Somebody tell me what that is. Can you even see it?
It looks like a glare from here.
Just like a million red dots.
Could be chiggers.
It could be chiggers. I got into something.
Although that's mowed enough back there, it shouldn't be chiggers.
It shouldn't be. But at 3:15 this morning,
it woke you up.
I wanted to cut my hand off. It was itching so bad.
Oh, it's probably chiggers. My guess would be chiggers.
And I'm out of Benadryl lotion, which I love.
Right.
I've never used it.
Right.
But it's incredible to use.
You can take wet oatmeal. You can take wet oatmeal and pack it, and it sucks out the stuff.
What's the Betty Crocker over here with the wet oatmeal?
Well, you want me to tell you how I know that?
Betty Crocker probably.
No. Well, if Betty Crocker was my wife.
Because you grew up in the sticks.
Well, that and I got into. We were looking at a piece of land several years ago to put our house on, and it had been an unmowed area, and we were out walking around looking at it just before church, and so then we went to church.
Good time.
By the time I got out of church, from my waist down was nothing but chiggers.
Oh,
I think I counted 482.
I would have stopped.
And so so my wife told me I had to get an oatmeal bath because that's that helps to
just draw it out.
It draws it out, supposedly. You can also get Chigarid. Chigarid is a vial of stuff.
This is vile right here.
Yeah, I know. You get a little bottle of stuff and you drop it on there and it seals over, and so the chigger dies, and then they can't do anything more to you.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I felt like a dog just scratched me last night.
I bet that's chiggers, because that's how I felt.
I'm surprised I didn't tear my skin open, because I woke myself up scratching.
Now go read Job and know what he was going. And now you know what it,
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
what.
This is just a little
Take a
bit.
piece of pottery now and
It's
just
the-
scrape your hand.
just literally cut my hand off.
Right.
Yeah, I don't claim to be Job, but
No,
it's not
but
that bad.
not that bad.
Good morning, Janet.
And your sister Laura's on.
I'm assuming Bobby's with you, so good morning
Yep.
to you too, Bobby. Cover them clear finger up on.
Janet's told me, yeah, that works too. Anything that seals it off so that he can't breathe. If he can't breathe, he can't live. He doesn't live, he doesn't itch. Because what they're doing is just digging, they're burrowing. Isn't that a nice picture for you?
So here's the question then:
no,
what happens when they get to the bloodstream? They just stay with you forever and always?
they'll die.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
I don't think you're not a doctor yet.
I am not. I'm working on it, but I'm certainly not going to be that kind of
Different kind of
doctor
doctor.
either. So,
Different kind of doctor.
yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, school goes back next week.
Yes.
I got
Good times.
I've had some surprised people. There's a little gas station here called McLeod's. Sam's known us forever. And my boys used to sneak over when they were in high school because they were angelic little children. That
Of course.
didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
But they would go over and get a drink or a snack from
Right.
Sam at McLeod's. And yesterday they both went as grown men working at Crowley ISD.
Still sneaking over. And
Still sneaking. No, they weren't sneaking over. I mean, they were on a break.
But yeah.
He stopped me yesterday. He said, I didn't know your sons were old enough to be teachers at Crowley High
Right.
School.
And you're like, I didn't think they should be either, but
Sam, you're getting there too.
I know it. We were talking yesterday about how it seems like my daughter
Oh,
somehow or another has just skated through all of some of the difficult things. She has a way about her that you're not supposed to go to car at lunch, and yet she's at her car at lunch every day. Nobody cares. She walks right by the office. I think it's because she's got the smooze thing that we have. It's like she knows them by name. She
Yeah.
calls them by name. She smiles. How you doing? What's going on?
She built a relationship.
And they just let her.
Oh, hey, Bella.
They just let her go through. Where are you going? I'm going to go out to my car. Okay,
Stop running out
come
to
right
the
back.
car.
And then she's like gone for an hour and then comes back. Like, hey, I'm like, how do you do this? Of course, I did it too. So I know how she does it.
Well, I don't know. I guess it's called gaming the system.
Yes, it is gaming the system for sure.
So, here we are again. Next week, we're going to be without coffee with dads or dads with coffee because
Why?
I'm going to be at collegiate week.
Yes, I thought you came back Wednesday.
We come back Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we come back Thursday.
All right. So where are you going with this? No coffee with dads next
No
week.
coffee with dads next week. I mean, it's a little early for that. That's usually how we wrap up, but just want to.
Just put it out there.
I'm not really prepared at this point to leave Sunday. I haven't got any of the grocery
Right.
shopping. I haven't got any grocery shopping done. I have my list. I know what I'm taking.
Right.
I don't have any of the shopping done. I don't have any of the paperwork.
Well, with 4 boys in your house that eat and consume food quickly.
yeah, but I'm cooking for girls, and girls.
No,
are,
my point is you're accustomed to this. This is no big deal to go cook for several people. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean
It's not hard for you.
it's not hard. But I may have to take my air fryer now. I wasn't planning on taking it.
You love your air fryer.
I do. If you don't have an air fryer, and I found out right after I bought mine that my older brother has the exact same one as mine,
Right.
and he loves his too.
Sure.
It's just,
I haven't gotten on the bandwagon yet.
especially when you're cooking for a small, you don't want to fire up the whole grill,
Right.
so you just break out the little indoor grill.
Sure.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah, our kitchen has downsized dramatically over what we had, and so adding one more appliance in there right now
It's pretty beefy too.
might be overload. So we've got to figure that out before we add something.
It's larger than a laptop, smaller than a microwave.
We're at that moment of if we add one thing's got to go.
Well, you
Moment.
can too, though. I mean, you get rid of some stuff.
You would think.
I'd rather cook in an air fryer than a microwave.
Well, I would too, but I don't cook in a microwave either. So
Well, there you go.
I heat up things in a microwave, but I don't cook in a microwave. My son made peanut chicken over rice last night. I'm gonna miss that boy.
He's becoming quite the
I'm
culinary specialist.
I'm gonna miss that boy when he and Dulcie last night was like, I'm gonna miss you, A, because you're going to school, but man, we eat good when you're home.
Yeah, mine comes home from work and crashes. He's works in the heat all day, every day.
Oh yeah,
wiring up houses and loving every minute of it. But man, it's exhausting hot work.
it is. But now's the time to figure it out. Is this really what you want to do?
And he's loving it.
Well, good.
He's absolutely loving it.
Good.
So Carter's going to be an electrician.
Did he get in the trade school for this fall?
Monday he applies, but
is it like a done deal?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Now he has experience. So
that's going to help. That really is going to help. That will help a lot. So
other than that, there's not a whole lot else going on.
No, this is the moment where it's a little bit of a break. I know you're going to collegiate week, but as kids get back into school and the routine starts back, we have until Labor Day basically before things really start to ramp up again. Of course, I don't know when the first football game is. I know
August 27th. Thanks for asking.
Yes, it's coming quickly. So
yeah, first scrimmage is next Friday, the 13th. First scrimmage.
Wow.
Crowley gets 2 scrimmages because we didn't do spring ball.
Okay.
Centennial's first scrimmage will be the 20th.
Okay.
I don't know who they're scrimmaging, but that'll be their.
I don't either.
When they can scrimmage, and their first game will be the 27th.
I don't know. I know when their concert season is. I don't know what the sporting schedule is. That's just what my kids are involved in.
Every Friday starting August 27th.
Well, I know because she sings at the home games. So I know that I've got them on my calendar. We like to go to the football games. We like to go.
So they have over in Centennial, they have the quarterback that Evan grew up playing football with.
Yes.
Dr. Philip Hamilton. Great kid, great family, great athlete all around. He's a 2-star athlete over there. 2 sports star athlete, I should say. Basketball and football.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he started on varsity as a freshman in basketball.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he quit playing baseball, or he would also be
a 3 sports star. Yeah.
He's quite the athlete.
So have you gotten into the Olympics at all this year?
Not really.
I haven't either. Is it the time change?
I think it's the one.
Is it the time change?
Olympics are supposed to be on an even year. Not an odd year.
Well, I guess that could be, but I just wonder if it's because when it's going on, I mean, it's 13-hour difference.
I did turn it on for a little bit. I've watched some stuff. I watched yesterday. I watched speed canoeing, like canoe sprint, 200-meter sprint.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's a really good American. I forget her name, but she was fast out the gate and fast all the way through. And then I watched the women's softball beat Australia in extra innings. Nice. But I didn't get to watch anything else of that because they played it.
Yeah.
Weird
like
times.
3 a.m. Yeah, I saw a thing on Facebook the other day about the elite average games that are coming.
Yeah.
Well, they was making a joke about it, but it was funny. They had people like doing sock slide. And how far can they like slide? It was just stupid stuff.
Last night they were doing some of that on the slip and slide. They were having their own slip and slide Olympics. So
absolutely,
they had a medal ceremony and everything.
Absolutely.
It was great. While I was inside cooking French fries.
Right.
Everybody wanted French fries.
Right. They don't want nachos; they want fries.
Right. Well, now we have the deep fryer over there. So
good times, man.
Yeah, we can have real grease fried French fries.
Right.
So good. So bad for you, but so good. I don't tell kids that because they're kids. Go run it off.
Yeah, they'll go run it off. Their metabolism's so high, it doesn't matter yet.
But football has started. We're gonna do 5th quarters.
Are we okay?
Yeah.
So we'll need lots of help there.
I see the kids all the time at football practice Like Mr. Keith, are you gonna have fifth quarters? You need to have fifth quarters back, Mr. Keith. You have to have fifth quarters.
Oh my gosh.
So if you're watching, August 27th is our first fifth quarter.
Oh wow, that's coming up quick.
That's only 4 weeks away. 4 Fridays away. Tomorrow being Friday number 1. So 3 weeks away.
And as college is getting started back, we have an opportunity to cook lunch for the BSU over at Tarleton.
Is that every Thursday or one Thursday a month? Or?
It's every Thursday, but we get we have one date on the calendar. It's coming up. September 12th will be our day. So if any of you want to help out, we'll be putting that information out for you to help.
September 9th or September 16th?
It's not a Thursday.
It's a Sunday?
Well, I don't know then. I don't know what date it is. I'll have to look it up.
Maybe it's the 13th.
It may be so. But anyway, it's in September. I picked one that it was a little bit
far enough out that we
can announce it. We can get ready to go.
Prep for it.
Yeah. And so I think it's a good opportunity because we get to, build that relationship and continue. And relationships, it's all about relationships.
They're literally in our backyard.
Everything we do is about relationships. If we're not building a relationship, we're not reaching this next generation.
Mm-hmm.
We have to build relationships. It's not about come and see. It's not about, all these things. I'm working on a study of the different generations and formally for my schoolwork. And, the differences between the generations is there. It's obvious.
Well, sure.
But learning to cross the bridge and find the strengths in each is the critical component in any organization, whether workplace or church or school. You've got to learn how does the 60-year-old teacher work with the 26-year-old teacher?
Right. Oh yeah.
They do it a lot different.
Yeah. I have a couple of sons that are figuring that out.
Yes. Yeah. And they're going to have to manage the fact that they're first years or second year for the one, or third year.
Third year. Yeah,
but they're still new and they're still young. And as much as they know and as much as they want to share that knowledge, that's not always it's not well received either direction. That is what we find.
Because when you are used to a certain way, and then some young bull comes in and wants to spill the apple cart.
Yeah. Well, we should do it this way.
Well, have we tried this?
Yeah.
Well, that's not how we do it here.
Yeah. Or we've tried that. It's 15 years ago, but we tried it.
That's how you take this young teacher.
Yeah.
And make him want to find another place that will listen to his ideas.
And that's complicated. You're right. That's what happens. Well, so what you run into then is the complication of they have ideas and they have new techniques because they just came out of school teaching all the new techniques.
Right.
And what all of us are having to figure out is the old techniques are good and the new techniques are good. How can we merge those two to find what's the best for the students, what's the best for the group from the old and the new? How do we leverage that? Because what I find, much like politics, we find it in most organizations. We have one group that says, this is the way we do it. The other group says, this is the way we ought to do it. And they don't know how to communicate with each other without each thinking the other's putting them down.
Right. Without trying to eat each other.
Like you said, the young one's like, well, if you're not going to listen to my ideas, I'll go someplace else and let some, who will listen to my ideas. Well, the older crowd is like, so all you really care about, the perception, all you really care about is you just don't want any of my ideas. And so both are in the wrong. The both sides have to figure out how do we talk? How do we communicate? How can we make it so we can find the strengths in each for the betterment of the generation that's younger than all of us. That's church, that's school, that's politics.
Everything that we deal with.
It's everything. And
I got to go for a drive the other day.
Oh, was it one of your drives?
It was a drive.
Yeah.
it was a pretty intense drive because it was with a more mature individual, a little more grown, a little more understanding. It was Ryan.
Had
Yeah. We went for a drive the other day. It was good.
to talk through some things.
We did.
Because, I remember being
Because Ryan has new school ideas. I have old school ideas.
right.
And so we got heated.
And obviously the new school is always better. That's no shade on Ryan. That's just that's how we thought coming up.
Well, sure.
We came out and go, well, this is the way it ought to be done. And the old heads were like, why? It works just fine the way we're doing it.
Right.
And so each successive generation, especially in this century, each successive generation is getting more and more frustrated,
But, well, we could talk about this forever, but it will lean political after a minute.
It's hard not to.
It's the boomers.
That's not political. That's generational.
That's okay. It's generational, but it's very sensitive. It's a very sensitive topic.
It is that I unfortunately God has told me to unearth in this project.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yay!
Millennials want to come in and they want to do stuff.
Sure.
Boomers don't want to let go of stuff.
Now we're talking some generalities.
Yes. Yeah.
This is some blanketed statements,
Right.
But yeah, I understand where you're going.
Primarily your heads of corporations.
Yeah.
Who are at retirement age.
Right.
Don't want to retire because they don't want to lose leverage.
Now let me ask an honest question here, because I know the economics of it all. I think some of them, you're exactly right. They don't want to leave. One, because what am I going to? Because my identity is being the CEO, which is a problem in its own right.
Right.
Being in control is my identity, and that's so unhealthy.
I listen to a lot of sports talk radio.
Sure.
And I look at Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. Jerry Jones.
Absolutely. He's ruined the Cowboys.
Is single mind focused on winning a championship.
His way.
His way. It's like Al Davis.
Yeah.
Al Davis and Jerry Jones were cut from the same cloth.
Yep.
And Al Davis didn't quit doing it until the Lord called him home.
Till he died. Yeah.
And so
we're going to assume the Lord called Al Davis home. I'm not sure that was till the Lord pulled his number. We'll put it that way.
He pulled his number. Okay, we'll say that. we don't know Al Davis, and we don't know his.
But I think part of it is they don't want to let go.
They don't want to let go.
And I wonder though if some of it is they can't let go, or they have to have the money.
No.
They can't retire.
Jerry Jones doesn't.
Well, not Jerry Jones. I'm talking about other people.
If you've been working that long and you've reached that peak in your
career, yeah, I mean Jerry Jones is the anomaly. That's the anomaly.
Let's take anybody that's a president of.
Let's take a boomer principal, a boomer age principal.
Yeah,
he may not be able to retire because he didn't have the money to retire.
Well, he better have the money to retire, because if he better been paying into his teacher retirement system.
Yeah, but they're fully vested. I mean, what are they going to make? Do they make exactly what they finish with the rest of their life?
Teacher
I think that's
retirement
right.
is different than.
But I think that's how it works.
Elizabeth Lupo, all the way from Louisiana. Shouldn't you be in school, girl?
Jason lives with Lupo, great friends of ours from Chase, Louisiana.
Absolutely.
And Jason was actually here for my ordination.
Cool.
He sat on my ordination council. So
these are issues that we deal with. We deal with this in the church. The church is not immune to all of these cultural issues that are going on. And I think one, we need to stop thinking we are immune to it. Two, we need to address it in as Christ-like a way as possible in our organization, so that we can show the world that, hey, we can make this work.
Be a model.
We can model for our community. This is how it ought to be done. But if we don't act any different than everybody else, then why does anybody need to go to church? Because there's nothing different there.
Right. Well,
in theory. in people's
Yes.
perception.
Yes.
Because that's all we ever deal with anymore is the perception of it all.
Sure. Because that's what
That's reality.
My
to-
perception is my reality.
Right. Well, and I was reading for one of my classes. I'm reading this book on good argumentation and talking about truth and how we live in a moment in our culture where truth is seen more relative than objective,
Mhm.
meaning, and this has actually been said in our own home. I mean, my kids have made these comments, and it brings to light, well, that's your truth.
It's true for you.
It's true for you, but it's not true for me. Well, okay, if we're talking about subjective opinions, chocolate ice cream is the best. Okay, that's true for me. It's not true for you. You like pistachio. Awesome. I like chocolate. Chocolate's the best. No, that's subjective.
Right.
But we're going to talk about some other things, like, for example, virginity.
Mhm.
The Bible speaks to that, and it's really, that's something that you should hold on to and should treasure and cherish all the way to marriage.
Right.
But our culture today says, well, that's true for you. That's not true for me. And that's,
there's
and that's just one example, but I mean, I was talking to my father-in-law the other day, and we were talking about, I guess we ended up talking about some differences of generations. And he made some comment that, and I said, well, Baptist preacher, Baptist, he was talking about a Lutheran. He said, well, Lutherans drink. I said, Baptists do too these days. And he's like, and it was that whole, yeah, I know, but, and it's just like, where's the biblical support for the Baptist traditions we have?
It goes back to your sermon 2 weeks ago.
The conviction sermon.
Conviction versus preference.
Right.
Man, if you want to hear just an amazing correlation, go back 2 weeks ago, look on our YouTube page and watch I Spy number 3.
3 should be 3.
I Spy 3.
I Spy Conviction.
Convictions.
And it was about Pergamum.
Yeah. Great. I mean, just unbelievable. Is it a hill to die on?
And that's what we have to ask ourselves. Is it a hill to die on? People are getting piercings in all kinds of strange places today. That's not something our parents or grandparents would have ever considered doing.
No.
Does that make it wrong?
No.
Or does it make it, is it just a preference thing? And we could go on and on about these things, but we have to figure, and a lot of these things lie across generational lines.
Yes.
Different generations have viewed it differently. And what happens is when we want to make a preference, moral decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, hang on. Not everything's a moral issue.
No, it's not.
Whether I have a tattoo or not, it's not a moral issue. Whether I have a piercing or not is not really a moral issue in itself. But when we want to make them these things, then it becomes complicated. And this is why we have, my generation's Gen X, and then you have millennials younger than us, because you're a Gen X too. And then Gen Z is your high schoolers today and younger. And the reason why that they're walking away from church is because we're making mountains out of molehills.
Right.
And as long as we continue to make mountains out of things that they're tertiary.
And
it doesn't matter.
It's not new to our generation.
No.
Because I remember talking with Barbara Martin. She's probably our oldest member now.
Okay.
Yeah. Our longest.
Longest.
The book's the longest.
Right? Longest member. Yeah.
She talked about when she was a teenager in church.
Yeah.
And she had a friend that came in and he was wearing a hat.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't take it off.
Yeah.
And they kicked him out of the church, and he hasn't darkened the doors of a church since.
Right. Where's the biblical support for that? There's none. None. Now, is there tradition? Is there a level of respect that came out of a military perspective? The GI generation, 1900 to 1921, they were raised with that military concept That said, you take your hat off inside.
Right.
It's a respect issue. We don't teach these young people respect it. Well, okay. A hat back in the day was not a part of your attire.
And people, I mean, I match my hats to what my shirt is.
Exactly. If I'm going to wear a hat, it's going to match what I'm wearing. Why? Because it's a part of my whole system of what
Part of the fit.
Well, I mean, but
Fit check.
but back in the day, that's not how that worked. You wore a hat to go work. And so, the question simply is that worth, is it worth, is it a mountaintop or a molehill? Is it something, is it really worth dying on? Is having that person leave,
Right.
possibly never choosing Jesus,
Never hear the gospel, never receive salvation.
simply because you don't like them to wear a hat? I mean, God rest his soul. Smitty wore sunglasses in the choir one time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the comments I got about that.
I know.
I'm like, he had sensitive eyes and the lights were bright, but boy, he wanted to sing to Jesus in the choir. What difference does it make? All right, I'm gonna get on a soapbox.
Don't get me started. It's Monday morning. Wait, it's Thursday morning.
I mean, these are the things that it's like, and it's like this sermon 2 weeks ago. You want to talk about Jesus? The virgin birth, his real death, his real life, his real resurrection. I'll fight you on those things.
Right.
All this other stuff is not worth it. It's not worth the potential cost. It's just not.
Right. Love like Jesus loved.
And that's where preferences have become more than they should have. And if we cannot easily, I mean, I can take the Bible and prove anything I want to prove.
Sure, you can take anything out of context.
I can prove whatever I want to prove. But if I have to stretch it to prove my preference, then it's just a preference. And we need to allow grace for the gray. There's a lot of gray. There are black and white issues. Absolutely, there are black and white issues. But you know what? There's a lot of gray that we need to just be careful about and allow for grace in those moments.
Grace in the gray. I like that.
Because there's a lot more gray than we want to give it credit. And it's important for us to do that. So, well,
See,
there's
we
your
didn't-
there's the topic.
We didn't think we were going to talk about it. I didn't think we were going to talk about anything today. There you go. We got pretty deep.
Well, I didn't know we were going there, but that's just what happens with
I didn't
dads with
either.
coffee.
I didn't either.
It's just what happens.
Especially when I start with Mountain Dew. This is not a good day. I'm tired. I'm not built for slip and slides anymore.
Psh, no, to launch myself from a 2-foot launch and to land flat I'm not built for that. I can't do that.
My back hurt when I left last night.
Right.
But here I am.
I mean, even if I try to get as low as I can so I don't hit so hard, I mean, my body will find whatever rock is under that Visqueen, and then I'll hurt for 3 days. No, I can't do it anymore. No.
I shouldn't do it anymore, but I did.
You should play slip and slide kickball. No, that's the game to
No,
play.
too many concussions.
Nah.
This guy trying to get me fired.
I've done it. I've played it. We had a great time with it. It was a lot of fun. I had kids begging to play it.
And we are trying to spice up our kickball game.
So many comments this morning. Hey, who knows? Yes, I still sing not like we used to, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth and I. Elizabeth and I was in a quartet, and she sang in the big group,
Yeah.
the octet. And Elizabeth and I cut a song together. I still listen to it. The CD is in my Durango. I still have the CD that we cut.
Which you don't get to drive anymore.
Right, Carter. You stole my car.
Right.
The group was Mark. It was Mike, Andy, Roy, and Keith. It's just our names. And it was actually our parts because Mike sang the high tenor, Andy sang the lead, Roy sang the baritone, and I sang the bass. So we were just Mark.
Yeah.
It was just funny how it worked out like that. And Elizabeth came in and sang a song with us, had a female
Cool.
duet, and I had the lead on that song. So Elizabeth and I got to
Good times.
her husband's a pastor, and so she if you'll watch their Facebook page, Parkview Baptist, I followed them. She sings all the time. Beautiful voice, gonna just a voice of an angel.
Absolutely.
So yes, I miss our times together singing. We need to have a Bell Chase reunion sometime, just to get all of us back together.
Right. Right.
That's where we all met. And then, there were so many people in that church that were called to ministry that are just scattered.
Sure.
One of our friends was in California. He just got a job in East Texas, which won't be far from Jason Elizabeth and Jason. He were like besties.
Right.
Yeah. Besties from firsties. So
That's
they'll get to rekindle that relationship. I'm happy for that.
good. That's good. Well,
Yeah, you got to go. I got to go. It's
Yeah.
9:35. Holy cow.
yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Good day. Good times.
Sorry we kept you guys so late today.
That's all right.
Hey, share this with a friend. And,
Yep. Not next week.
not next week.
2 weeks.
I'll be in Oklahoma.
2 weeks.
Sorry. I mean, I guess you can invite a guest co-host.
Yeah, I could.
Bring Bill in.
Yeah.
You need to bring in Eric. I didn't see him this morning.
No, he may be busy this morning and can't make it. Some
He's-
days he can't.
Boomer Sooner.
I know it, right?
All right.
All right. We'll
Love
see
you
you guys.